So in some of my previous videos and even some of my YouTube shorts, I discussed some techniques to shoot faster and also the principles of shooting slower and things like that. Now, a lot of people seem to be unhappy with what I would say in those videos. A lot of people thought I was teaching unsafe things, or maybe they just didn't fully understand the technique. So today I'm going to make a full video on how to shoot faster, combining all those techniques, and why shooting faster doesn't work the way you think. So that was pretty fast, but obviously accuracy was completely out the window and not a whole lot was achieved. The point I'm trying to make here is you don't get faster in your shooting by just pulling the trigger faster. You can only do that so fast eventually. It's about all the things in between. So when an instructor or someone tells someone to slow down, that doesn't actually help them get faster because you're not focusing on the technique, you're just doing whatever you're doing slower. And if it wasn't working to where they're telling you to slow down, you're just doing what didn't work slower. So the first thing to shooting faster is the trigger press, right? We don't want to be shooting all the way from the slack and just smashing through the wall. There's a lot more movement, right? We want to reduce some of that movement by shooting from the wall, because when you shoot from the wall, you get rid of all that slack and there's a lot less movement in your muzzle when you're pressing the trigger. Now, if we want to be shooting from the wall, but we want to be shooting quickly from, let's say, the draw, if I'm coming from my draw and I come all the way out to full extension and then I put my finger on the trigger, that's gonna take a whole lot longer because now my sights have been disturbed. And whenever we're shooting, we want to have this idea in our head of prepping to the wall, sights, confirming our sights, and then press, right? That's how we want to shoot. Prep, sights, press. And if I come out and I have my sights because I've come out, I've aligned my gun on my target, then I prep to the wall, I will disturb my sights slightly, so I have to get my sights again, and then I can press. Versus being prepped to the trigger, and as soon as I come out and get my sights, I can press. So that allows me to end up shooting faster and get faster draws the first shot. Now, some people say that's unsafe, you're putting your finger on the trigger too early. No. Either you don't understand this or you don't understand firearm safety. So let me explain. So if I'm coming out and my intention is to shoot and my gun's pointed at the target, there's nothing unsafe about it. Even if as I'm coming out, I shoot too early, I'm still firing towards my target, towards my backstop. And if you're in a situation where you don't have a good backstop, where you have a very difficult target, either A, maybe don't use this technique, or B, practice and be proficient in dry fire, because this can all be practiced in dry fire without any live ammunition. So that way, when it comes to it and you need to be able to do it, you can come out, be prepped on the wall, and as soon as you get your sights, send that shot at your target, whatever your target may be. Now, in the same vein of prepping to the trigger when you're coming out of the draw, you also want to be prepped on the trigger when you're shooting. Now, if I shoot like this, pin the trigger to the wall, let it out, find my wall again, and then shoot again, that's going to take a while. However, if as soon as my shot breaks, I'm resetting back on the wall of the trigger, see, I'm already ready to shoot. You didn't hear any click. I didn't do it. You might have because the way the microphone works, but I wasn't doing anything outside of the time the gun was firing. I was using the time while the gun cycles, while the slide's cycling, to be prepped on the wall already so I can shoot faster. Right? Not insane speed, but the point was every time the shot broke, I was getting back on the wall versus if I pinned the trigger, much slower, and I'm still trying to shoot at the same speed I just shot, but simply because I was resetting the trigger and recoil, I was able to shoot much faster. So one thing you can be doing in dry fire to practice this technique is first, obviously make sure our guns are clear and all that good stuff. Go press the trigger all the way to the rear, and then while holding your finger on the trigger, rack the slide. However, once you release the slide, you want to start also releasing your finger off the trigger, so that way when the trigger comes forward, you can then kind of grab the trigger with your finger, so to speak, bring the trigger back to the wall, so you're ready to fire again. And essentially, once you've mastered this technique, it'll look like this. And you'll be ready to shoot on the wall again. On the wall again. And like I said, just like earlier with the being prepped on the wall from the draw, this is a technique you can practice at home using no ammunition. You can put a barrel plug in or whatever, make it 100% safe, and you can master this technique before you put any live ammo in. Now, one thing that can happen is you can end up getting I'd say an unintentional discharge at the range where you're trying to prep that back to the wall and you end up pressing all the way through. If that happens at the range and you have a berm or a backstop and it's in a full safe environment, that's fine. That just means you're getting used to the technique. It's not unsafe because you have a backstop. It's not unsafe because you're in a proper training environment. Training is where we make mistakes. It's where we learn techniques. So allow yourself to learn this technique in dry fire, then learn it at the range, and very quickly you can master this technique, and then you'll be able to shoot a heck of a lot faster. So we can not only cut down time while the gun's cycling, but while we're going to do anything else, right? The whole key to shooting faster is doing things sooner, right? Having the gun prepped to the wall sooner when we come out from the draw. Having the gun prepped to the wall sooner while the gun's cycling. But the other thing is, when it comes to things like transitions or movement or anything else, if I'm in a situation where I'm gonna shoot from one target to the next, if I shoot like this, get my sights again on this target, then move over to this target and shoot it, that's a whole lot slower because I'm letting myself get my sights again, which takes more time. However, if instead, as soon as my shot breaks, I'm on the next target, I can be on the next target way faster and it'll look like this. I wasn't faster because I was doing something faster. I was faster because I was being more efficient, right? I was doing things sooner. And ultimately, you'll learn as you become more proficient with techniques. Yes, there is a level of just having speed, but we can only move so fast. It's about cutting in or cutting out that in-between time of when we have to reset the trigger, when we're transitioning from target to target. Maybe when you're moving, right? If I'm gonna shoot and then move, right? There's no point in me shooting, getting my sight picture again, and then moving. What I wanna do is instantly move because I don't need a sight picture again on a target that I've already decided I've shot however many times I want to shoot. When I'm done shooting that target, I can instantly go for that movement. So the real key to shooting faster is just being more efficient, doing things sooner. When you have instructors telling you to slow down, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, the reason that doesn't work, the reason that's inherently backwards almost, is because slowing down, if I'm, let's say, pinning the trigger and I'm trying to shoot fast, right? And I'm smashing the trigger, and so I'm not shooting as well, right? And I'm trying to pin the trigger. So my shooting's not as good. Now, if I'm told to slow down, yeah, my shooting will improve, my groups will get better, but that's because I was using an improper technique, and I'm continuing to use the improper technique, right? And I demonstrated this in my other video, but some people still didn't seem to fully grasp it. So the key is correcting the technique. And if I now start using the proper technique of resetting and recoil, even shooting at the same speed, I can shoot so much faster with just as good of hits, right? And I'm still using good grip. All my other fundamentals were there. Just shooting with a better trigger control in which I'm resetting the trigger and recoil increased my speed. All right, so guys, if you still didn't fully understand the concept, go in the comments and ask questions. I'm happy to make 100 more videos on this if people don't understand. But the main principle is doing things sooner makes you faster. You can only move so fast. So if you guys enjoyed the video, if this video was helpful to you, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you didn't like the video, for one reason or another, you don't agree with me, there's a dislike button for a reason. Otherwise, guys, like I said, head out in the comments. Maybe you have another technique that helps you shoot faster and you'd like to share it down below. Or perhaps, like I said, you got a question, I'd be happy to answer it or make a video answering it. Otherwise, guys, I'm releasing new videos every Saturday. Subscribe and stay tuned.